In an age of glowing screens, silent engines of steel and sapphire are selling for the price of mansions. Beneath the dial, gears whisper, springs breathe, and fortunes trade places. These are not gadgets. They are sculptures that hum with physics and history, coveted by collectors, athletes, and kings. Tonight, trace a secret map through the 10 most expensive luxury watch houses on Earth and the doors where their pricing begins. From quiet ateliers in Switzerland to auction rooms where a single tick can shake a market. Number 10 waits in the Vallée de Joux. Jaeger LeCoultre, born in 1833, has long played watchmaker to the watchmakers. It shrank movements to impossible dimensions, shaved them to astonishing thinness, and designed complications that feel more like symphonies than mechanisms. The famed Reverso, a case that flips like a page in a spy novel, still frames the brand's precision. Entry into this world starts near $4,300 for the classic monoface. A whisper of a price in this realm, and a clue that engineering genius does not always announce itself with diamonds. Ninth place refuses to belong to a single name. On one side stands Rolex, the most recognized crown in time. It began in 1905 with a simple forecast. Wristwatches would matter. The waterproof oyster of 1926 proved it, sealed against the sea and built for survival. Today, Rolex is shorthand for arrival, yet the gate opens around $5,000. Paradoxically, its legends explode at auction. A vintage chronograph once wrapped around an actor's wrist crossed the block for $17.8 million, turning nostalgia into thunder. Eighth place looks older than most countries. Blancpain, established in 1735, spent centuries refining discipline into identity. In 1953, it sent the 50 fathoms into the deep and came back with a legend of diving and duty. It survived ownership changes and now lives within a wider group, but its spirit still surfaces in every bezel. The first rung here is startling, near $113,000, a reminder that some names ask for tribute before they whisper a second. Seventh place belongs to Vacheron Constantin, crafting without interruption since 1755. In the age of quills and candles, it taught watches to count more than hours, with complications that name the day and chime the quarter. Later, a master engineer broke movements into standardized calibers, accelerating an entire industry. That sort of continuity has a price. The doorway opens around $133,000, and every piece feels like a contract with time itself. Sixth is Breguet, born in Paris in 1775 and adored by emperors and queens. Its signature style etched the language of fine watchmaking, and its patron list reads like a library of power. The myth that looms largest is a pocket watch commissioned for a queen, a piece so ambitious it took 4 decades to realize. Today, its shadow is valued around $30 million, a ghost of elegance and obsession. The house repeats a quiet creed: every woman is a queen, and the initiation fee begins near $115,000. Fifth place crosses the border into Saxony. A. Lange and Söhne rose in 1845, fell to war, then returned with a vengeance, carrying pocket watch discipline into a new era. Everything here is mechanical, everything rendered with almost architectural clarity. The Saxonia Thin marks the starting line at roughly $177,300, while the Grand Complication, a rose gold epic with 7 complications and 876 parts, demanded 7 years of labor and exists in only 6 examples at about $2 million each. Owners include artists and presidents, men who make headlines but look for quiet mastery on the wrist. Fourth place holds the keys to Geneva's last great family fortress. Patek Philippe, formed in 1839, helped simplify the daily ritual by putting the crown in the crown, transforming how time is set and wound. It builds everything inside its own walls, stamps it with a standard it wrote for itself, then releases pieces that appreciate in more than money. The gatekeeper is severe. Around $188,600 brings you to an aquanaut with automatic heartbeats. At the summit, a single steel watch packed with 20 complications sold as a one-off for charity and commanded $31 million. Steel became a precious metal when the hammer fell. Third place is Audemars Piguet, a house that in 1993 took a risk and made big, beautiful. The Royal Oak Offshore, at 42 millimeters, felt like armor when it arrived and spoke to a new tribe. The look spread across stages and stadiums, gathering athletes and musicians with it. Entrance can begin at about $20,700 for a quartz Royal Oak, but the story does not stop there. A collaboration with superheroes cast a white gold Black Panther on a textured dial, set inside titanium and ceramic, limited to 250 pieces and whispered to cost around $170,000. Second place is reserved for a modern traditionalist. F.P. Journe, founded in 1999, builds like the 18th century taught, with innovations sketched by hand and finished for permanence. A remontoire born for a pocket watch was adapted to a wrist. Then a tourbillon arrived and collectors took notice. Fewer than 900 watches leave each year, each movement decorated as if it will live for centuries. The starting line sits around $26,000, yet in a single night, a blue dial prototype in a tantalum case soared to $19 million at a charity sale. A new constellation added to a small universe. First place, the crown of contradiction, is Richard Mille. The founder worked the industry for decades, then launched under his own name in 1999 with a vision borrowed from carbon wings and pit lanes. The cases curve like wind tunnels, the materials sound like aerospace manifestos, and the result feels like a racing machine on the wrist. Complexity here is not hidden, it is celebrated. The least expensive path, the RM016 Extra Flat, reportedly begins around $60,000, though finding anything under six figures is rare. At the other extreme stands a sapphire apparition, a transparent case in three parts that exposes the movement's nervous system. Only 10 were born, water-resistant to 30 meters, anchored by titanium, valued near $2 million. And with that, the map closes. What emerges is the paradox at the heart of time. A brand with a relatively modest entry price can shatter records on the auction block, a young house can outrun centuries, and a tool designed to measure hours becomes a vault for human longing, memory, and status. In a world where a phone knows the minute, these machines ask a different question. Which house will define the next century of time? And what does that reveal about what people truly value when the ticking stops?